this is Louise, who's going to show me some dog massage tips. And welcome to Nelly, she's 4. She's a Sprocker Spaniel. And Pippa, she's 12 and a half. Another Sprocker Spaniel from a different family line. And Louise is a good old friend of mine, more recently trained in dog massage. This is our Christmas edition, so happy Christmas, guys!
Happy Christmas, everybody! Right, so the main thing is bringing yourself down into the moment. It's all about the moment, all about the breath. And thinking, actually, this is not just their time, but your time with your dog. Don't worry about trying to get them on their side or turning them over. The general rule of thumb is work towards the heart like you would do with a human.
Okay.
So you're making sure that you're pushing the blood in the right direction so it goes to the heart and then gets cleaned
so what
and
about
pumped.
Tummy? We haven't done tummy yet, have we?
No. Normally, we wouldn't encourage owners to do tummy. So we do tummy.
At all?
No, because it can be quite, if you think about what's in there, it's quite a sensitive area. So we generally try and say, for owners, legs, body, head and neck.
Because quite often dogs, when they're very relaxed, will roll onto their backs and show you their tummy.
Yeah.
And is that to say, please massage my tummy?
No, it might just be general, just tickle my tummy. Or it could be, do you want your tummy massaged? Are you gonna roll over? Are you gonna go? Just wait. I just want to show everybody on the camera your lovely fluffy chest here. So this is the underneath the rib cage with the sternum coming down here. So in this bit does so much work for a doggy because you've got what we call the superficial pectorals that connect those forelimbs to the chest, and then you've got the deep pecs. And then I'll just walk you back. So I'm not there. Look. So you've got all of this. This is all your pectorals here, and then these ones here. Very important, these superficial pectorals. They do so much work, and I'll explain why in a minute. So yes, if you want to do the sweep up to the heart in the effleurage on that bit, yes, but I would not do the tummy.
Okay.
This bit. So where the rib cage is, don't go anywhere past the rib cage, just there. And the reason is, so you've got your superficial pectorals, so they're the ones here and here, these bits. Difference with the dog is they don't have this, the clavicle, that can, they don't have a bony structure connecting their forelimbs to their rib cage.
Oh.
So this is why when you talk to any of our skilled members, we are big advocates of non-slippy flooring and mats and things, because these muscles, these superficial pectoral muscles, are so important because they keep the forelimbs attached, basically tight into the body, gives the forelimbs stability. The only thing that's keeping these arms, these forelimbs in, are those muscles.
Right.
So this is why this lot does so much.
Yes.
So if they slip,
yes,
they'll strain.
Right. How can you tell if a dog has strained that muscle?
Generally that's where you see forelimb lameness.
Yes. Okay.
That's where you normally see some sort of limping in the forelimb area, which generally would be this muscle here.
Pulled muscle.
Pulled superficial pectorals. They are the most important muscle for the dog in the forelimb area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, quite scary.
And is it quite common then? Is that what you're saying? It's quite...
Yes, quite common. Yeah. And again, so in the hind limb area, the one that wouldn't generally go if they're on a slippy floor, again, would be the groin muscle, the pectineus one, and that's the one that holds their legs in close tight.
Right.
So the same as us really, the groin. So groin strain. So if you do that, that's the one that will go there. So
and that's easy to go on a dog as well.
Yeah, slippy floors again.
Same reason.
Yeah, because those muscles keep the legs in tight. So right, so that motion, I mean, that is just so lovely. lot of tension in the top of the head. So this is the temporal muscle here.
Yes.
At the top, then you've got the masseter muscles. So their masseter muscles are just so huge. If you think about their mouth and what their mouth does, if they've got any tension in here, it comes up around their ears, comes into the temporal, the back of the head. So you've got the occipital area and where the temporal muscle fits in. So I get it. So this muscle right here, right under here.
Yeah, okay.
That I always find that really, really...
So you get the equivalent on them is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So there's a line there.
That's it, yeah, that's...
Ooh. So that's the equivalent of the occiput, the base of the occiput.
Yeah, they've got
bone
occiput
there.
as well, yeah. So the occipital area where the temporal...
And it's got a little point on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the middle bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, all of thumb is for everybody also. It is generally don't rub over a bony protrusion.
Okay.
So we call them bony landmarks. Scapula, shoulder.
Yeah.
So you've all these like bony landmarks here, bony landmarks on the elbows, knee. You've got... got a hip down here and bring it forward.
Oh, to the heart, right.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a curve.
That's
like
it,
that.
yes, yeah. So bring it.
And tuck it under the thigh, like that.
That's it, so bring it towards the heart, yes, yeah. Do you like that? Do you like that, Nelly? Oh, that's a nice one.
Alternating hands.
So again, this is
She's
where
got
we'll
that straight leg again.
So this is where we were chatting about the pecs. So Tor's lovely left hand here is smoothing lovely down on those pecs, bringing it round to the heart. And it's these ones that do so much work.
Yeah.
These ones here sort of thing. So it's lovely because you're coming down the neck and then round the pecs and through the legs. And
Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Two
again,
hands.
it's like when you're massaging your dog, think, because we're just doing the basic effleurage, but just think how it feels for you is how it will feel for them. So if you're thinking, oh, that would be nice, then it will be nice for them as well.
Aww.
See, look, she's settled lovely now.
I've noticed a really calm spot on dogs is the front of their chest. So if there's a dog that's a little bit agitated, whether it's mine or another one, you know, like in the vets or something, and I just, sometimes it's not even a rub, it's just like a little hold there. It'll calm them down.
Okay.
It's like over the heart, I suppose.
Body wraps. So it looks like a crepe bandage. Start around the chest and then it comes up under the arms and then you secure it over around their tummy and around the back. It's like swaddling a baby. It gives them that gentle pressure. So it doesn't have to be tight. It's not like a bandage where it has to be tight, but it gives you, like you say, that sense of reassurance and that touch just there.
Okay.
And it brings them into balance and calms.
It's definitely a calm spot there, just on the front of the chest. I was looking at my notes because you're going to have a treatment with me shortly.
Yes.
So I got your notes out, and in there I had a little card for your dog Lucy.
Okay, yes.
And it was back into the summer 2015.
Yeah, oh gosh, yes, yeah.
And I don't think you'd started on this journey yet.
No, because it was after your session with Lucy, you did core with her, didn't you, through me?
Yeah. So I was wondering if we'd do a little bit of that now, just 5 minutes to show what happens with core on the dog. So I'm just going to randomly touch various areas and see what comes up.
Okay.
So you're going to be the therapist.
Oh, okay, so and hold.
Okay. So you can't quite do it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite opening. So that what we're trying to do now is just gain an idea of how much strength I have. So that's what we're going to compare, that strength we just had then, we're going to compare to doing the same thing again. So I'm going to hold, I'm just going to put my hand on Nelly's ear, her right ear.
And hold.
Okay.
That side stronger.
Okay. And her left eye, she doesn't like this.
And hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's been very good for me. And her right eye.
And hold.
Okay.
ear was stronger, I was less strong
Okay.
on
Yeah.
those.
Sometimes I won't be able to support it. If it's really bad, it'll just pop over.
It was just a slight nuance. It was just like, okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to check your right paw.
And hold. Yeah, nice.
And left paw.
And hold. Nice, but not as strong.
Not as strong. She
Maybe
does
the one
have
there is.
a dew claw that the vet that removed the dew claws when she was less than a day old didn't
Bodged
remove.
it.
No, he just forgot about it. There was a whole litter of puppies. He did them all and just forgot this one dew claw.
Okay.
And it bothers her because she thinks, why haven't I got one on the other side?
Okay.
She's got one dew claw.
You know that's their thumbs, don't you?
Well, she hasn't got a thumb then.
Yeah. Thumb, yeah.
Or, well, she hasn't got a thumb on her right, but she has on her left.
Yeah.
And it bothers her.
She might be a little bit out of balance for that as well, because if you think
Okay.
you've had that removed, just think the impact that would have on your tendons coming up your arms.
Okay.
So that's quite, so she'll be maybe a little bit out of balance with that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
having one thumb and not the other.
Yes.
Pip hasn't got either,
Yeah.
because, you know, being working sprockers. So I'm going to hold her dew claw, because she gnaws at it sometimes.
Oh, it gives a jip, does it?
Well, I don't know if it does. It's never inflamed or bleeds or caught or
She's
anything.
just anxious about it.
I think she wonders why she's got it on one side and not the other, and she
Okay.
probably thinks it's a thorn or something.
Okay. Yeah, she's like, what's this?
Why is that there?
I haven't got
It's
one
like
myself.
having an extra finger.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you. And hold. No, it seems
Oh, it's
alright.
all right, yeah. Yeah,
So physically it might be okay. Like you say, it might be an anxious thing.
it could be, yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Right, shall I do a couple on Pip? I'll do her sacrum.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And hold. Not too bad.
That's good. I'll do her right shoulder blade.
And hold. Oh, nice and strong.
And her left shoulder blade.
And hold. Yeah, nice and
Okay. Yep. Anything else, Pip? How about your eyes? I'm going to put my hand on both of her eyes.
strong. Ooh. Okay. And hold. Not too bad.
A little movement, but no. So nothing popped open. I'm
No.
quite surprised. Yeah. So that would be really obvious if there was something really wrong. I mean, obviously we haven't tested everything. We haven't tested the digestive system, you know, liver, kidneys, etc. But all of those things you can test with a SIM, a strong indicator muscle.
Cool, okay. Can anybody do that then, or is that
Yeah.
just...
Yeah. Anyone. You don't have to be trained. You don't have to have an energy or anything. You can just do
Okay.
it on your own dog. Do it at home. Yeah.
Oh, there's someone else.
So you
Okay.
find a strong muscle first, and you know, there's lots of different ways, but this is a really good one. Little finger and thumb. Babies, or
Okay.
any animal, or even on humans, like a human that hasn't got the strength to do the test themselves if they're in a hospital bed or not well. Yeah. So you can do this SIM
Okay.
through someone else.
So it then helps you channel and work.
Well, what it does is it actually gets their brain to have a shopping list of all the different things that need attention, that need healing.
Okay.
And their brain will know which passed and which failed.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's the immune system talking to the nervous system.
Yeah.
Okay? And then what you do in core therapy is you do these tests called kinesiology, muscle
Yes,
tests first
yeah.
of all. Then you treat them. So like with you, you'd then give your dog massage.
Yeah.
And then you'd only go back to the ones that failed or part failed.
And double check.
And you wouldn't retest the passes, you know, they're good.
No, you recheck the
Just
fails.
recheck the fails, and most likely they'll be absolutely ramrod strong.
Okay. Yeah, so in our work, what we do is, I said to you, didn't I, about the body mapping. So in part of the consultation, we'll do a complete palpation of the whole body. So we're checking all of the muscles, so we compare either side. And that's what we do then, is we're checking for trigger points, strains, any orthopaedic issues that we can refer back to the vet. And then what we'll do then is we'll then treat the whole body and then focus on certain areas, and then, like you say, go back, map again, and then see how those areas have progressed or sort of thing.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So really good little technique to know about, because
Like that, yes.
not only does it help you know something, but actually even more important than that, because that is just your mind, and what you really want to be working with is the subconscious.
Yes.
Is for the person who has been tested, so two, not through, but two, that their subconscious knows that it's flagged. There is an area that's flagged on that little shopping list, and it needs treating. And I say treating, there's lots of different kinds of treatment. You've mentioned quite a few this morning. I do lots of different types of human treatment. So however you then treat and then retest.
Yes, okay. With humans, it's a little bit because you can explain, but with a dog, you've got to try and access that, and the only way to do that is by touch and your body language and how you're communicating your body language, which is the reason why I think, so we've got our basic skills that we do, that we've been trained against, but then we've got, so like now, I've Tonington T-Touch, and that was another way of me trying to access the dog's body and putting them in a safe place, and putting them, it's all about putting the body into balance, so then they can react and choose consciously of how to respond. And yes, to help my treatments that way. So it's all about putting the body into balance, and you'll access them through their subconscious by accessing their parasympathetic nervous system with certain touches and certain pieces of equipment and training, to talk to them that way, so that it brings them into balance, and then you can communicate better.
Well, you know, the subconscious is like 95% of us. We're only conscious like 5%.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yeah. So when you meditate, and as you know, I've been meditating for a year now, and just qualified in a teacher training course. It's like the sea going out. So imagine the waves are coming in and out, and every time you meditate, if you have a really good one especially, the sea will go out a little bit further, revealing more consciousness, and that's what you want to happen. And every time the sea goes out and reveals more consciousness, that 95% goes to 90%, maybe to 85%, but very, very slowly, and you become what we call awake.
Yes, okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
So this is, I mean, you know, I like to think that dogs are so intuitive and probably far more in tune with their subconscious than we are.
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely.
And you know, they love the outdoors. They love everything that us humans need to go back to our source, our root.
Basics.
Yeah, you know, and we could take a few leaves out of their books
absolutely.
and learn from our dogs. And I think when we're with our dogs, part of us knows that, and that's why we like being with our dogs, because we're tuning back into our roots and our source, and it's just that basic essential needs.
Yeah, and I must admit, I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I love doing what I do, because, well, let alone helping them, just to be completely open when you're with them and you're working with them, and then how receptive and how loving they are, and it's just like, and what you do and the work that you do, and then the next time that you see them, they're even more loving, and they're so pleased to see you, and it's just like, it is so humbling, because
you're gaining their confidence and their trust, and they remember you from the last time.
And it is all about the confidence and the trust sort of thing.
Lovely. Oh, you were saying how owners' feelings can go through the dogs?
Yeah, so not just feelings but physical issues as well, which is what is just truly amazing. So we were first talking about meditation, weren't we, about how after treatments, I find that I need to ground myself, and a lot of therapists need to do that, and I think human therapists are the same, where because we take on during the treatment a lot of the emotional burden context of what's going on in that person during the treatment. And it's the same with the dog. So when we're treating dogs, we can take on a lot of their emotional turmoil, what's going on with them. But the other thing that we've also found, and it is just amazing, and I chat to a lot of owners about this, so some of my owners, when I'm working with their dogs, or even when I'm at a show and I'm just doing muscular health checks, I will find something on a dog and I'm chatting away and I'm like, I look at the owner and I'm like, have you got anything wrong with your neck and your shoulders? And they look at me like, you're just really strange. Why are you asking me that question? And it's like, well, your dog's exhibiting issues here, here and here. And they're like, yes, I've been struggling with that area for quite a long time. When we treat a dog, we do sometimes get personal with our owners and say, are there physical issues going on with you as well? Because what we found is if they get their physical issues sorted out, we can get the dog's issues sorted out as well. So if I'm treating the dog, I'd like the owner to be treated at the same time, because you're bonded. So again, you're connect. We were talking about connections and things like that. So whatever comes through in your dog will come through in you, and vice versa. So it could be either way. A good one to explain is my own dog. So my Springer Spaniel, she's treated by a fellow guild member. And she was trying to tell us something in this session. There was me and my friend, we were sitting there, it was like, what are you trying to tell us? She wouldn't settle, and she normally settles beautifully. And in the end, she turned around and it was something to do with her back. And then we both realised she was trying to tell me something that was going on with one of my children. My son had some really bad back problems. And as soon as we said, is it this that you're trying to tell us about? She sat down, lay down, and let us carry on with the treatment. It was just a stomach churning moment. And then with one of my other clients, she was suffering mentally with issues and her back and her spine, and she'd been absolutely fine. And then this treatment that I did on her dog a couple of weeks ago, and I said, your back's flaring you up, isn't it? And she was looking at me going, you're really strange, you've always done this to me in these. And I'm like, no, I'm honest, and she goes, yes, it is, it's awful. And she goes, I've been meaning to get it sorted. I said, well, you need to get it sorted, because I can't work and do any more progress on your dog until you get that sorted. And then the issue resolved, or started to resolve in her dog at the same time.
So, a couple of questions. Do you always have to have your own issues sorted before you have your dog treated? And in which case, say if there's always something to work on?
I personally would think it depends on the emotional bond that you have with your dog, would depend on the level, the intensity of the sharing. The dog is linked to a certain person in their household, aren't they?
Right.
They're one person's dog more than someone else's.
Right. Poor dogs that have got all this extra baggage as well as their own baggage.
Well, no, it's just weird how it mirrors. It might be that the dog is sharing their issues with their owner. And it could be that way round, or the owner is sharing it.
In which case the dog needs to get treated first.
Yes, yeah. So it's a bit of both sort of thing. So if you get both treated, it's just like then you're more likely to...
Wow.
It is quite amazing.
And the other question is it always the same part of the body? Or could it just be somewhere else? So if you find a sore shoulder in a dog, are you always thinking, it's a sore shoulder in the owner?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a sore hip or a sore...
No, if there's something specific and you get that, and it's weird, it's my intuition comes into play. So it's not always when I'm working on a dog, it's like, that's happening in the owner. Yeah. It's just sometimes when I'm working, I get that sense from the dog, or my intuition comes in and I'm like, no, there's something going on with the owner. Yeah. And it's weird how, and you'll probably know that more, it's just you have to trust your intuition, and it's like, oh no, I need to say something to the owner on that one. So
lovely.
It doesn't always happen. It
okay, how interesting. Yeah, our lovely dogs, they take on a lot of our life, a lot of our emotional well-being.
Yeah, and again, yes, dogs take on the emotion of the family as well. So if there is sadness in the family, people don't quite realise sometimes, like with grieving, that the dog will grieve at the same time.
Oh, definitely.
And they reflect the atmosphere and the emotion that's happening in the family at the same time.
Yeah, that's, I think we
They're
know
sentient beings, we all are.
Aww.
We're all souls, it's just they're just reflected in a different little body.
Yeah. Lovely, thank you, Louise. So Louise, how did all this start, your change of career?
Okay, so basically you. So we talked briefly, didn't we, about Lucy earlier and having core. And I remember you saying to me, Louise, Lucy would benefit so much from massage. Why don't you see if there's any dog-related stuff that you can do?
Lucy being your dog?
My dog, my old spaniel. And I think she was about 5 at the time. And she'd just been recently diagnosed with hip dysplasia, so bilateral, both sides. Did a lot of research on the internet and stumbled across Canine Massage Therapy Centre. And this is Natalie's company, Natalie Lenton. So I went on a 1-day workshop that's open to everybody anyway. So you can go along to Natalie, and there's quite a few actually people at my level as well that will go out and do 1-day workshops, just so you can do massage with your dog at home. Went and did that and just fell in love with it straight away. And then Natalie was telling us about her 2-year program. So you could do it full time. So I've been practicing for 3 years and the training took 2 years. So yeah, that's...
Well done, congratulations.
Yeah, so that's how I got into it.
So a complete different career path for you.
Completely different. So I was in the food industry for 25 years and I was a technical account manager. I was an auditor. I used to train auditors. I was travelling all over Europe. Yeah, I was made redundant. Didn't know what to do. Had a bit of time to think about it. And then literally Lucy was my support during all that. So she was just my rock. So
I used to see you quite regularly at that time, didn't I?
Oh, because I was suffering from depression at the time as well. And literally, it's weird how your dogs come into your life. Again, the universe provides. When I got to that point, it was like I wanted to be able to give back to Lucy, and that's what I've always said is about giving back to them, because they give us so much joy and they do it unconditionally. So I think on my business cards it says about letting them, my work means that they can be the best that they can be. They can enjoy life and do stuff, and that's why I like doing it. So, and that probably leads me on to this anyway. This is my paw prints. So that's Lucy's paw print, and that's LJ. So I've got 2 Springer Spaniels. Nice close up.
Aww.
So Lucy's 13 and LJ is 6. So Lucy is my soulmate, bless her. And she's the reason why I do this. And you'll find that all of us in the guild there's always that one dog that we do this for. And they're the ones that change your perception and the reason why you do stuff. So
that's touching.
So she's with me all the time, which is why I wanted it done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Louise. Well, I think my 2 dogs thoroughly enjoyed this morning.
Bless them.
They're completely passed out on the same bed, very, very happy.
Snuggled.
Yeah. So I'm going to let them out, and then I'm going to give you a nice treatment of some kind. Lovely. So thank you for joining us from Louise and I. Happy Christmas.
Thank you. Happy Christmas, everybody.